请到了海南希尔信息咨询有限公司的总经理 Cecil 先生。Cecil 先生过来中国5年了，去年得知咱们海南建设国际自由贸易港，然后在这里投资创业，创办自己的企业。接下来让我们看 Cecil 先生怎样子对咱们海南有一个怎样子的印象吧。
大家好，OK， sorry. Can we? Oh, I can continue. 大家好，我叫 Cecil，我来自加纳，已经在中国住5年了，我觉得这个地方很舒服，做工作，所以我在这儿开我自己的公司，大家认识你们很高兴。
Cool, very good.
Okay.
结束了。
So Cecil, what is why Hainan attract you to a company on the island?
Okay, first of all, what I liked about Hainan had to do with the weather condition first. Everyone wants to feel at home wherever they are, be it in business, be it in the daily life. And I thought as much that Hainan seems to be a place that I can relate much with the weather, and I can be most comfortable to do business. And plus, for every person, the most important thing is the policies that has to do with the area. And I believe that the Hainan Free Trade Zone actually gives me a great opportunity as a startup to be able to also expand a market and be able to make a mark later in life.
Could you please tell us something about what you do for your company? What is your goal to build a bridge between Africa and China?
Okay. So over the period of time, I thought it as much as possible to connect Africa with China. Now, I would not say that there has not been background laid, let's say, procedure and ideas from people, of which I am enjoying right now, because if anyone had, or if no one had made a connection in the first place, then I would also not have a chance to be here. So what I am planning to do with my company is to further broaden the understanding of doing business in China, make it easier for people who are in Africa to understand the scope of business in China, and also to be able to open up to accept much of what China has to offer the world.
Do you know something about the new policy about the Hainan Island?
Yes, there are a few policies that I have been able to get in contact with. Very encouraging to most young entrepreneurs as myself, and also big giants who are willing to get out of their comfort zone into a new market. What I understand right now is the tax policies makes it much easier for me to be able to survive over the period of time, so that in time I'd be able to also match up with businesses that are already established. The housing policies here, how foreigners are able to get housing, the habitation policy, if I can call it so, the driving policy, the way to move your own family to this area, the environment in itself gives you that inviting feel to be able to settle in this area and also do business, but with much peace in the mind and in the heart to be able to do what you do best.
Good. So, when your company got started on the island?
My company is fairly young. We've been a few months into what we're doing right now. The acceptance on the ground actually has been so good. Meeting with a few other companies who are already established in China. There's this level of acceptance that comes with being a foreigner and doing business in China. Let me give this example. I had watched this documentary about how people would understand what development looks like. And I noticed that with the idea of China over the period of 50 years, it's clear that they do understand what starting from nothing and getting to the end of something is. And that is what Africa needs as a mindset. And so it makes it much easier for us to be able to do business here, because there's that level of acceptance and openness to what you have new to bring on board, and the idea of opening up a market beyond limits. And that's one of the most amazing things that I am enjoying right now.
So far, have you found any business between Africa and Hainan Island?
Yeah, most of what I have actually found has to do with, how do I call it, more of an openness to new products. Fairly, Hainan is still growing when it comes to the number of companies that are making production, which means that much of the products I would have to sell to most Africans who come in looking for building construction stuff, who come in for technology, who come in for new clothes and all of that. It has to be danced in other provinces. And with the projection that we're having right here in Hainan, over a period of time, I can see that there will be that level of openness where I can easily buy goods here and be able to transport it right from here to Africa.
And can you give us an image, what in your mind, what Hainan, the tropical island, looks like?
Okay. The most intriguing part of it is this. When we got here during our first 1 month, my business partner, who is not with me right now, he looked at the area and said, wow, it feels like we're in Jamaica all over again. It feels like a whole island feel to it. And the fact that we could find coconuts everywhere, be able to find stuff that we eat back at home openly on the market here, actually just opened up our minds to feel as though we're back in that picture that we've already known. It's like a fairly imaginable same thing, nothing different. Acceptance is wonderful, and also there is this beautiful picture of what paradise looks like, and that is what I can say that Hainan looks like much of the time, because it's out there and it feels green, it feels natural, and it feels safe, you know, like mentally, spiritually also. You just feel safe. That's the bigger picture that I have of Hainan.
And the weather, the scene, everything compare with your country, Ghana, Hainan?
Yeah, comparatively with Ghana, Hainan has got the beaches, and it's so wild to be able to be in that same kind of a climate where it looks like summer all day, every day, where it feels like another warm feel on the skin. Away from the cold, Hainan makes a little Africa in China. Let me call it that. A little Africa in China, not by population in the number of people, but in
the weather.
In the weather, yeah.
Cool, very good. Cecil,
yep.
Do you enjoy Chinese food?
Most definitely. 我最喜欢的中国菜是麻辣鲜锅。麻辣鲜锅。
麻辣鲜锅。
对，extra spicy food. It's so nice, and 怎么叫鸡公包？
宫保鸡丁。
对，是我的最喜欢的。
宫保鸡丁。
我们要客串一下啥那个？
宫保鸡丁。
老外福利。
对，很好。How about Hainan food? Wenchang chicken and Hainan food?
I'm yet to really try Hainan food. I am yet to try explore when it comes to food. I'm still in the segregated mindset of the Liaoning province and whatever I have experienced before.
Northern China.
What I did was to check online for the kind of foods that Hainan already has.
Okay.
There was something called a chicken droplets soup, some dough mixed with some green, and then it's rolled, cut into little pieces, and then with a soup around it. It seems so interesting. The fish, I have also tried a few on the fish dishes.
Fish dishes?
Yeah.
On the island?
Yeah.
So you spent your time almost 5 years in Liaoning province?
Yeah.
So how about the northern Chinese food?
It's got its own touch. It feels like, okay, let me give you this story. It makes it much easier. We walked into a restaurant to have hot pots, and the very moment it was laid before us, it looked like, what is that? What am I going to be able to eat that? Now, that was my first week in China. So the lady dished it out, and then there was rice. The very moment I picked the first bite, wow, this feels like Africa. This feels like Africa. Now, it's just a difference in the spice, but then it's got weila. I am happy. I love pepper so much. Yeah. So the more that I ate it, the more that it
not
felt,
too spicy.
Yeah, it just felt like, wow, I'm not far away from home. And that is that's the biggest hurdle for most people when they get to China. There's so much perception when it comes to food. And so when you finally get something that you're able to relate with on the inside, it makes it much easier, you know? It makes it much easier.
So tell us something about yourself and your life, real life in China, for example. Are you going to marry in China or get a family here?
Yeah, the plan is literally, okay, a brief introduction about myself. My name is Cecil Broohm. I am from Ghana. I enjoy entrepreneurship. I enjoy starting up stuff. I am the type that breaks stuff and refix it just to see how it looks like. And I am explorative. I love the camera. I love journalism. I love being able to dig deep into the thoughts of people. I am a person who is an introvert, but then one way or another still know how to be an extrovert when I'm out there. When I meet people, I am so glad. I keep pictures. I have this little quote that I continuously kept with, which is simple. My world is a big, beautiful picture. So now I know that most people would want to keep nature, the shots of beautiful nature, scenery and all of that. But I am the face person. I want to see the face. I want to see the face. And I don't just want to see the face. I want to see the face that is behind the mask that I see on the outside. And so I am able to look at a person and look beyond what the person is saying, what the person is trying to convey. And that is what I like about myself, because then it doesn't keep me segregated in the mindset. Because having to move to China, there are a lot of things that you hear, funny stuff and all of that. But then having to have a feel on the ground and getting to notice that amidst everything that is sold out there, there is some truth in what exactly you want to see. Because if an information is sold to you in one way, it depends on you. If you dissect it very well, you're able to see beyond what is being sold to you. And so being able to be open-minded, to be able to see beyond what everyone is selling to me and be able to analytically think about it is what I love about myself. I must say, that's what I love about myself. And getting to know most Chinese people, I have met the most empathical people, much in the heart when they meet somebody. The desire to know something new, the desire to experience something new. I would not say it has been perfect. One way or another, in every 10 you will still find somebody who makes you feel worse about yourself. But then if you decide to look at it, then you don't get to see any beautiful part. Like I said, my world is a beautiful big picture. When it's not nice at some point, I have the chance to pick the white paint it over whatever I've painted and repaint the story again. And that's what I love about myself. Planning years ahead, I am actually planning to live in China straight for the next 5 years. Over that period of time, yes, get married. I am still learning to understand who a woman is, but there's one thing I know for a fact: they don't change. It's the same cover everywhere, and it's the same mentality on the inside. The only difference is the place where they're stationed, the country where they find themselves. And likewise, I've met a few ladies who have been very fun, nice to meet and all of that. And the plan is hopefully, if it's a Chinese, I'd be glad. If it's a European, I'll be glad. If it's an African, share, I'll be glad. Life is just beautiful when you're able to accept what the universe, they say, the universe gives to you. And if you're able to value it, you enjoy every good in that little thing. If only you're going to be able to value it, then you see exactly what is on the inside. When you only look at the outward, then you get stuck with exactly what you see.
So, could you please give us an image of yourself and your life and your business in 5 or in 10 years? What could be?
I wish I could go like everyone and talk about money. I wish I could go like everyone and talk about money on the account that I know the main goal of every business is to make profits. And yes, I would not scrap it out of what I plan to do. But the biggest part of achieving for a person is being able to see a smile on another person's face. I heard it from a wonderful gentleman I really adore a lot, Mr. Jack Ma, and he talked about the amounts of money and where it gets apportioned. So I'll use it because I live by that code right now. He says, when you make your first 1,000, it might belong to you. You make your next 10,000, it's yours. When you finally hit the million, it doesn't belong to you. It's clear how people trust in you in order to give you their money, knowing very well that you would use it in turn for good. And that is my plan. In the next 10 years, I should be able to get to that point where I am trusted so much with so much money and be able to still do the best of what makes me smile, which is to see the next person smile.
拔苗助长.
This is my favorite Chinese idiom. I got to learn about it in Survey of China class. The story is all about a farmer who plants some seedlings and continuously will tell the son, go check if they have grown a little taller. And the son will go to the farm, come back, and then would say, they have not grown. The father says the next day, go check it out. One day the son gets totally tired of going back, so he goes to pull it out a little bit so that they get a little taller. And so the father says, has it grown taller? He says, yes, they have all grown taller. The father decides to go to the farm to check it out, and it's all dead. The guy had pulled it out halfway through, and the seedlings have all died. And
okay.
That's one of my favorite. Never force anything. Give yourself the time. Go through the process. And at the end of it, you're going to be happy for the results.